What's up, you Patreon weasels? Want to start this off by giving a very sincere thank you to all of you for being here, whatever your pledge may be. This was the first month since I started writing back in 2013, or January 31st, 2012. This is the first time I've ever been able to pay my rent off funds for my comedy slash writing, and it was all from Patreon this time. It was all to you guys. A very momentous occasion. I got this Lagunitas little sumpin beer. I'm gonna take a swig of this to you. It's a toast. But what this has meant, the rent, that's awesome too. But it also means I can dedicate the money for my day job, which is a shitty catering gig. Just complete, utter slave work. Wiping shit down, putting out food, fucking mopping floors. I can put all that money to creating content and shoots. And it's been great lately because you might be able to tell here, I've been hiring a cameraman, guy who shoots 4K, has a gimbal, is real good with color and focus and all that shit that I don't really care to learn on my own or have my cameraman use when it's just one of my drunk buddies. So that's why the stuff has looked so good recently. And then also I can just pay him to be like, hey motherfucker, get in the car, we're driving to Barstow. Get in the fucking car, we're driving to Slab City. I'll pay you extra, we're gonna be gone all day. We're going to smoke some weed. I'll get you back sometime before midnight, and we're going to leave at the crack of dawn. That's how it's been going. It's thanks to you guys that I feel great doing that. I don't have to limit my shoots to like an hour or 2 hours and hope something funny happens. If I got the whole fucking day, you know I can pick out a stellar 15 minutes. And that's what I believe I did, or a stellar 20 minutes in the case of this video. It's the city with no laws. It's Slab City. I already did a commentary for Barstow. I believe that with Barstow and then the Slab City video, it's probably the best back-to-back video series I've done. My strongest 1-2 punch. Let's be honest, it's probably the strongest 1-2 punch on YouTube because everybody fucking sucks. I'm the only one with any talent, barring maybe 3 or 4 other YouTubers. So let's get into this video. I'm really proud of it. That sounded cocky, but it's kind of true. Let's get into it here. The city with no laws. I'm pressing play. We're doing a commentary. Actually, before I get into this, because I want to give a little pre-story on the shoot, and if it just starts rolling, I'm going to have to start commenting on the things that appear on the screen. But how this went, and this kind of happened with the Barstow video too, is LA, it's winter here, as it is anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. Which in LA, I thought it wasn't going to be an issue. That we're in the fucking desert, it's the California sunshine, it's the beaches, it's titties, it's Hollywood. But no, it's been raining pretty steadily. I don't know, is it an El Nino is the scientific term for lots of rain? It's El Nino season. I want to say we've had easily double-digit numbers of rainy days since New Year's, probably somewhere up in the around 15 or 16, and they've all been falling right on the weekends. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to have a shoot all planned out, have somebody coming to meet you to be in the video, having a filmer coming out, having the concept, and lo and behold, you throw open your curtains in the morning, and there's a downpour. It fucks everything up. You can't operate a camera in those conditions. So what did I do with this one? Because this was the conditions, or those were the conditions during the Slab City shoot. It was fucking rainy. But in California, if you drive far enough east, it just gets more and more deserty and less rainy. So on this morning of the Slab City video, which out in Slab City, it's just sunny, clear blue skies, it was pouring rain in Los Angeles when I woke up at about 6:30 a.m. to get my cameraman. So cold, damp morning, very depressing. I drove over to the Valley in Los Angeles, up into Glendale to pick up my cameraman. Still pouring rain. From there, we went to get Inland Iggy. Pouring rain the whole way to Inland Iggy's house. It was menacing. My phone told me it was going to be sunny in Slab City. I didn't know whether to trust it. And then also, I'd done zero research on this place. I didn't know if it was like a theme park where it was like open and closed, if we were going to get charged, if there were even people out and about doing things there. It was a complete no research blind call. If you've seen this video, you know it paid off. The sun started to pop out maybe halfway between Redlands, California, which is where the infamous Inland Iggy lives. Halfway between there and Slab City, we started to get some sun. And I'm just going to press play now. We've got enough of a lead-in.
Show me a pair of tits.
This is maybe the hottest teaser I've ever put together right here. How could you not watch this video after that?
So, Iggy, what do you know about this Slab?
Here we go. A nice little introduction passage here. A conversation. It feels kind of cinematic because it was all out of order. The dialogue we were saying. A lot of it was just bullshit and not interesting. And I cut together the parts relevant to Slab City about it having laws, having no laws. Gives you a little taste of what's to come. You see the rain here. We actually went into Iggy's house and interviewed his parents, but they were real Christian and real uncomfortable with us. All of his little cousins watch our videos who are like 6 years old, so that creeped me out too. I left it all out. And here we are arriving at the Salton Sea.
Is it safe to drink? What about just a cup?
Yeah, this Salton Sea, I had no idea what it was beforehand. I watched some shitty Vice documentary on Slab City, and they went to this. The documentary was bullshit. The host had the charisma of a sofa. That was a bad analogy of what they had the charisma of. They had the charisma of some kind of inanimate object. They were fucking pussies. So obviously this one's a way better tour of the Salton Sea and Slab City. But, of course, I had to find a comedy bit in the Salton Sea. It's a big, salty body of water, completely undrinkable. The fish die when they go in it. So what do? I make Iggy drink some. He vomits. Easy comedy right there. That's an easy 30 seconds of comedy. Also, right here, we went into there was a garage sale, the sketchiest garage sale you've ever seen, with a guy selling a bunch of, like, recycled tractor parts, and there were a bunch of little bicycles and scooters. I was trying to buy one for Iggy to ride around out there in Slab City, but none of the wheels moved because they were all rusted over. I cut that entire garage sale bit out. Here we are, Slab City, right into the good stuff. Into this fortune teller, crazy tarot group people. And this guy was a gem. This first guy we find, this guy who's like, it doesn't fucking matter in the slabs, because he's delivering exposition there. It's perfect. And then here he breaks down the law, no law balance of the Slab City. I like this guy. He was cool. He was a great introduction piece for our arrival.
How long have you guys been out here?
Since December 1st.
And I noticed this girl right away was cute. You know how this ends up if you watch the video. But I had my eye on here right away. My eye on her right away. And I was scanning. My radar was... I was probing to see whose boyfriend she was or wasn't. And of course, it ended up being Ravenwolf.
Wait, let's film this.
The City Smokes bit? Yeah, this was interesting. This is a cool little cultural element that these guys will basically suck your cock for a pack of American spirits.
What are these? If you had to buy this, what would it sell for USD?
For an American spirit, it's $1.
See, the only time I've really smoked cigarettes heavily in my life was in that smoking at UCLA video. And by the end, it was kind of amusing. I kind of liked it. But I can't imagine having the reaction that these people are having toward the cigarettes. I mean, it's not that fucking exciting. It's kind of entertaining. It's something to do. Here we are.
Dog killed my dog, and then she fucked some other guy and left.
Pretty tragic so far.
Was stuck out here ever since.
Are you still smoking meth, or are you clean now?
I'm clean.
Nice.
I'm clean.
Well, you got that going for you. Okay.
Thanks to this camp. Before they got here, I couldn't get more than 3 days clean.
3 days sober?
3 days sober. Couldn't get more than 3 days sober.
I don't think this is the best atmosphere.
What to say about this guy.
Since I've been here, I got 2 weeks.
He makes a big deal of this camp, getting him past the 3-day sober barrier. And then at the end of the conversation reveals he has, in fact, been sober for only 3 days. Which, let's translate that. Probably about 24 hours at most is how long it's been since he last smoked meth.
This is a too personal question. Do you shave below the waistline completely?
I do.
Anus as well as the middle area?
Yeah, if I can reach or get someone to help me.
Maybe
Nice, getting some
broken glass as a mirror and use that?
very sexual, very probing questions for Miss Rastafarian Hat Girl.
What's the best card combo I can get?
Yeah, minus that tattoo, which is horrendous. If she got back into civilian life, if she took a shower,
What's your name again, man?
if she started shampooing her hair, I think that girl's got a lot of potential just to be hot by regular standards. She could be an easy 8, maybe even a 9 if she worked out.
Life out here in Slab City.
Oh, everybody at camp will tell you ours is great.
You guys have sex.
Every day.
When you masturbate,
So at
do you
this
penetrate or
point-
do you just rub the clitoris?
We've established that she's dating
Put your
Ravenwolf.
fingers in your pussy.
Usually Wednesdays.
Why is Wednesday so special?
It's hump day.
Do you guys do anything experimental in here inside the tent when you're having sex?
We would if we had another woman.
You're into that, Ravenwolf?
Here's where the gears start turning in my head. When I understand that they're polyamorous, and there's an opportunity to go make out with her later in the
Ravenwolf,
bit.
you're getting a little jealous about that, huh? I feel like
So I said on an Instagram post I was talking about this, that this is one of the most proud This is one of the bits of improvised comedy that I'm most proud of that I've ever done. I saw this girl, I figured out she was dating Ravenwolf, I figured out Ravenwolf was the fortune teller tarot card guy, and the whole bit just snapped into my head. I'm going to go up to Ravenwolf and get my cards read. I'm going to interpret every single tarot card into meaning that I have to find new love in Slab City. And then the second he's done reading my cards, I'm going to go over and try to make out with his girlfriend. And I'm so hyped it played out like this, because with videos like this, there needs to be a payoff at the end. So if for instance, this all went well, he read my cards, I saw his girlfriend, but then I went over and I tried to make out with her and she said no, then there's no resolution, there's no payoff, and it kills the entire bit. So it's a miracle. It's one of the miracles of YouTube filmmaking. You never know what's going to happen, and every time you go out there, I'd say about 75% of the time, just the magic strikes. Because we're now, again, with the Patreon funds, the support you guys give, I can stay out all fucking day. And eventually we're going to get one of these magic moments. And on this shoot, it was definitely the magic hit here early on. And then again with Inland Iggy toward the end, which you may know what I'm referring to when Inland Iggy just gets out of his head on probably laced rum.
Coins usually represent a financial aspect of your life.
So maybe it's gonna take some
Yeah,
money.
these shots
to
are
get the
beautiful, huh?
relationship I need out
That
of
camera's
this.
looking good.
Maybe it's gonna take some kind of resources in exchange for that love. That's
Here's me setting up the American Spirits bit. I sensed that my way into that girl's pants was going to be through American Spirits.
Flash the camera for some natural.
And here we are. Me making my move.
Ah, cool. Here's two.
The tits were nothing special.
Thanks.
Would you be down to like make out?
I mean, you'd have
That
to
haircut's
ask my
pretty
daddy first
offensive.
in the car, but,
What about for 3
Yeah.
spirits?
If she got back into the real world, shampoo would be a must. Get that hair straightened out. Get it a natural color. This girl would be real fuckable.
Over here. We'll go behind the mesquite bush.
I don't want to get spanked. You'll have to ask Daddy.
I don't know if that's actually a mesquite bush. A mesquite bush just sounds like some desert shrubbery.
In my wildest dreams, I hadn't imagined encountering a woman as attractive as Slab City.
And this is just one of those moments I try to go for in every video where I just try to make people as uncomfortable as possible. The whole time I was setting this up, because I had to go ask Ravenwolf to come with me to get in the shot so I could present the question, my eyes are scrunched shut. That's one of the reasons I wear sunglasses, so it looks like my face is composed and I'm cool, but really I'm squinting and my eyes are darting around, I'm nervous. I'm not comfortable asking this dude if I can make out with his girlfriend for cigarettes, but my job is I'm an entertainer. I have to do things most people are unwilling to do in everyday life in order to make entertaining content. If I'm going around shaking people's hands and fucking petting dogs and servicing the community and being a better person, nobody's gonna give a fuck. Nobody wants to see that. They want to see me be an asshole and put people in socially tenuous positions like this.
My ex used to put chocolate Hershey's cubes into my asshole and then eat them out of it.
What a cute story.
No.
Was your ex abusive?
I don't know.
The question is, why was this guy only putting chocolate Hershey cubes up her ass?
No,
If it was just assorted stuff, if he was putting blueberries and Starbursts and ice cubes, that would be less creepy because he clearly just has an anal fixation. But what really creeps me out is the obsession with not just chocolate, but Hershey's brand chocolate. I hope that guy's dead. He needs to be hunted down and taken off the street.
I don't do any chocolate out of butthole.
So you just kind of stay away from the ass. It's a sensitive subject with her.
Yeah.
What was
You know
the
what I
most
mean?
extreme thing you guys
Everybody out here probably got abused so much growing up. I feel kind of bad.
I don't know, dude. Have I knocked you out a few times?
Wait, please.
Have I knocked you out a few times? As
Choking her till she passes out.
Got it.
choking her, yeah.
Force to the head. Hey, Inland Iggy,
Yeah, it's a fair mistake on my part to assume that he was just punching her in the face in the tent. I mean, even if that was the case, it wouldn't have surprised me too much.
At any point, the match is over.
Inland Iggy decides to wrestle this guy. So Inland Iggy, after he saw me wrestle Fan Jerry and Nico, the filmer, in the surprise personal trainer ambush prank, he started talking a lot of shit to me about his supposed fighting prowess. He started telling me he grew up training Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling and boxing. And you know Inland Iggy, he's so confident. And like sometimes his confidence borders on the line of delusional that I started to believe him. I was like, is this guy really a badass? I mean, I trained jiu-jitsu for 7 years, 8 years, but maybe this guy is fucking knows something that I don't, and maybe his fucking ground game is insane, and maybe he is a Golden Gloves boxer. So he started talking shit to me in the car, and I was like, okay, maybe, because I was kind of hyping up a fight between him and I, but after hearing all the shit he was saying about his background, I was kind of like, maybe I don't want to fight Inland Iggy. Because even if I just get one black eye, or one chipped tooth, or a bloody nose, it's not worth it to get in a fight with me. I don't want that at this point in my life. But then I saw him grapple that kid, and I knew Inland Iggy had no idea what the fuck he was doing. That was the sloppiest, most shitty grappling match of all time against a kid who was probably right then peaking on acid. So after seeing that, I really had very little fear, and that set up what you're going to see at the end of the video. This was a bit I wanted to do. I wanted to go up to these square people, the tourists visiting Slab City from Los Angeles, who were rich, just came out in their Mercedes-Benz to snap some pictures, and I just wanted to tell this lady all the horrible things I've done. Kind of a la Ollie G. Just Ollie G saying all these super offensive sexual things to politicians and men in suits who run businesses. That was my version of that in Slab City. And this lady was Canadian or something. She didn't seem that offended by it. A nice shot of our homeless friend, our meth-addicted friend, pulling out his penis. And here's Inland Iggy vomiting on command.
It's like the third time you vomited.
I love the Bible shit in the background. It's a nice little juxtaposition there.
You forced it up? Why do you keep puking?
Because it's good footy.
That's the best answer you could have given me.
That is a good answer. Inland Iggy is dedicated to the footy. Inland Iggy is comedy gold.
You did?
Yes.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
No, I used to do a lot of drugs.
Drugs that made you think you were a 15-year-old cheerleader? Like, I thought that was a bit, but Inland Iggy's insisting that he was actually a bulimic, so he's going to show me some pictures right now to prove it. Okay, this is his visit for a hospital.
Some people might say it's insensitive to dive into his history of bulimia and anorexia for comedy, but I tell those people, fuck off.
I just thought I was fat.
What would Howard Stern have done in the 90s? Oh, he would have dove right into that bulimia juice. So, I did. I called him fat, or I insinuated that he was getting a little fat, made him do some push-ups. Here, the Patreon salute to you guys.
Magnificent Barstow video? You like the production value, the fact that I'm traveling? Well, it's all thanks to these motherfuckers who support the channel. My wretched pirate gang. Special shout out to Dakota Adams. I forgot him last week. Sorry, buddy. Guys, right now I put up about 2 videos a week on Patreon. Taking it very seriously now. Only $2 to join. Check it out.
You don't fuck any of these chicks you're giving their prayer readings to.
This is our boy Garth. Garth was his name. And it was very strange. He gets offended by the language I'm using right away. But then he just turns into this huge scumbag with that "show me a pair of tits" line. And he starts just quoting all this insane poetry at me. I don't know, something about this interaction I liked. When I go out on a shoot, I ask a lot of different people a lot of sexual questions. Sometimes it just falls flat and there's no energy to it, and sometimes you rewatch the footage and it's just magical. This is one of those little magical interactions. We're showing him titties here, he's got his spectacles on. He's not impressed by all these pictures of tits, but you can see his eyes are huge. He's like entertained by it. He actually hit me up on Facebook asking that the video be taken down, saying his team of lawyers was going to contact me, which I was a little worried by at first. I was like, is this guy some wealthy retiree who's just living a nomad life now that he quit working at IBM? But then he just descended into this, like, 3-paragraph passage about how I had no charisma and about how he was working on a screenplay that was going to destroy my career. And I was like, oh, he's a crazy person. He took too much acid in Slab City. And that was multiple weeks ago. Nothing has happened, so I think I'm going to be all right. I don't think Garth is going to take any legal action. I was complimenting him, too. I told him he was handsome. I was like, dude, you clearly fucked a lot of chicks in the 80s and 90s. And he couldn't take the compliment.
I think I'm going to play that card in Slab City to get more pussy. You think some of the girls will fall for it?
We went to this camp here. We stayed here for a little bit. Nothing was really going on. I said that initially magic kind of struck when we went to that first camp with a tarot reading. And then there was no magic for the next maybe 2 or 3 destinations we went to. Just camps where it was pretty uneventful, not much going on. But then Inland Iggy takes a hit of this rum, a big hit of this rum. Not to mention he'd had about 8 beers beforehand. And he weighs, I don't know, 125, 130 pounds. So this is when total blackout set in and his behavior just degenerated into disgustingness. Which is bad for real life and dinner parties and business settings, but it is fantastic for a Danny Mullen YouTube video. And I don't know at what point. At some point, he just started talking shit about my height and just like telling me he had a bigger penis than me, which is true. He does have a freakishly large penis. It's disgusting. It's all skinny at the bottom, and then it just blossoms up into this huge head. Which, I mean, it's good for him. It's not just, like, I'm sure chicks probably enjoy getting banged by it if they like big cocks. But it's just like, it's an offensively large cock. So he started pulling that card on me. But in front of the lady, in front of the children, there was actually a clip where he pulled out his cock by the kids, around the kids, which was just completely out of line. And we had to pull out and, like, get out of the camp. And that's where you see it in a few minutes here. This guy is telling us he's going to, like, beat our asses and shit because of that. You don't see all of that because I didn't want to put it in the main YouTube video, but that's how out of line this guy was. Inland Iggy was a fucking drunk, cock-size boasting, Native American fiend. After that swig of rum, he was unreachable. This is full blackout. And it wasn't just here, it was the entire ride back to his house, which was maybe an hour. No, I think it was 2 hours. It was like 2 hours from Slab City back to his house. He was so blacked out the entire time, I don't think he stopped talking for more than 15 seconds the entire ride. And it was hilarious. I thought about filming it and miking him up because it would have made a great podcast. Just him and mine and his conversation while he was in complete blackout the entire ride home. So here, he'd already pulled his cock out. And then this is one of my favorite bits of any of my videos. The Inland Iggy, me telling him he needs to take a dip in the Salton Sea to sober up, and then him telling him he's gonna, like, rape me and, like, prison fight me. Look at how vacant that guy's face is right there. He doesn't even know he's a human being.
No, not a wrestling match. I mean a full-on prison fight. Like, I'm gonna sock him in the balls.
Like, he may as well be in a coma. Look at those eyes.
Or gets fucking cred.
Gets fucking raped? Or gets fucking cred? Why does the winner get raped? That's one of my favorite exchanges. And at this point, I kind of decided that I was like, all right, Iggy clearly doesn't know how to fight based on that wrestling match with the homeless LSD addict. But I still didn't want to fight the guy because, again, I mean, I had my fighting phase in college, and it's fun, go get in fist fights and shit. But it's just, there's so many downsides. You end up in jail. A stray blow breaks your nose, it chips a tooth. If by some fucking 1 in 100 chance he lands flush on the chin, you get knocked out and get a concussion. Just, at 29, I don't need this in my life anymore. But now I'm an entertainer. I gotta take some risks for the audience. I still didn't trust him in a full-on fist fight to not use his teeth and his nails. And his nails, they look a little unhygienic sometimes to me. So I wanted to keep it a wrestling match just so I didn't get cholera or rabies or something.
I still make fucking multiple $1,000s a year.
Iggy still makes multiple $1,000s a year.
I mean, if we wrestle, we're wrestling full rules.
And we have this nice desert sunset scene here. It's just this hard, weird clay ground. This is a cool shot, just out in the wilderness, settling our beef. Yeah, he knew I was going to try to snap him down, to bring his head down, like I did to one of my camera guy in the Fan Jerry video. So since he was leaning back, I knew I could just hit him with that trip right there into a darce, which is a great long-armed guy choke. It's one of my favorites. Easy darce. Bam. The only hard part was that he had long hair, so I couldn't get my fist through. I had to weasel it in. And then this is one of the most elegant outros you're ever going to see on my channel. I don't want this to become a standard, though, where I play some cool song and then there's a sweet, kind of melancholy outro sequence. If I do that too many times, it's going to lose its potency, but this is a really nice example of it. The Barstow one had a really kind of bittersweet ending, too, with an Elliott Smith song. This song's by Oasis. It's a B-side. Yeah, we just got him naked. He was so... Well, he doesn't have much of a problem getting naked anyway, because he's got a big cock. But yeah, just hammer drunk, running down the beach. Get his ass in the Salton Sea. At this point, I knew we had a legendary video on our hands. It was so hard to censor his cock. It took me like 2 hours to censor his cock here. The blurring tool in Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use, it just would not follow him around, so I had to do every frame individually. This is a great bit. Just this dude riding his bike, sees Inland Iggy just naked as shit. The guy doesn't give a fuck. He thinks it's like some art project. He doesn't realize Iggy's just blacked out of his skull. Yeah, listen to Oasis, people, if you don't. The first 2 albums.